All right, what's going on, Banter fam? Welcome into the Friday edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and today we are going to be diving into a gaming blockchain that I feel like is very much on the rise. And as you see here, I do have Immutable X pulled up on the screen, but this is not angled towards Immutable X. Everyone knows the Immutable X adoption that's happening with Illuvium, Ember Sword, Guild of Guardians, all these big games that are building on IMX. But we are actually looking at a shift of the tide as a lot of projects are now that was initially built for games, and that is Polygon. I'm going to run through some key highlight points. Sandbox migrating over to Polygon, Dr. Disrespect's game on Polygon, the acquisition of YouTube head of gaming Ryan Wyatt, who is now the CEO of Polygon Studios. We're going to talk about all of that and more in this video, and why more games will begin looking and migrating over to Polygon in the crypto gaming industry. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you gon' play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you gon' play, but ain't a play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. And be sure to remember that the In the Game show is sponsored by Seedify, the top IGO gaming launchpad in all of the blockchain, as well as Unix, one of the leading GameFi ecosystems in all of crypto gaming. So let's dive into some key highlights. So as I mentioned, they just brought on Ryan Wyatt, who was the ex-head at YouTube Gaming, which is their big streaming platform, for example, which did facilitate Dr. Disrespect to join their platform after leaving / getting banned from Twitch. We really don't know what happened with that situation, but they were able to get a lot of high-profile streamers to come from Twitch to YouTube Gaming in Ryan Wyatt's tenure with YouTube Gaming. And as we see here, their chain's experience in the gaming industry is very, very expansive. 90 plus cumulative years of gaming experience across gaming studios, the likes of Unity, Google Play, Electronic Arts, Activision, Riot Games, Amazon, and more. So we're looking at a lot of experience here on the team for the gaming division for Polygon Studios. And we're also seeing Web3 developers, the Sandbox, Decentraland, on obviously Web2, with DraftKings, we see with Tilting Point, and they do have partnerships with the likes of Facebook, aka Meta, Stripe, Adobe, Dolce & Gabbana, Adidas. So a lot of these platforms are choosing Polygon to actually launch their games and launch their assets. And as mentioned, check out Ryan Wyatt and his background, very strong in the gaming industry. And the moves they've been making since he joined have shown just that, as we have just seen that MATIC just actually took over, and Sandbox moved over their assets from Ethereum blockchain over to the Sandbox, which is obviously a much lower gas solution for them. Instead of having to operate all on the ETH chain, now they actually are moving their assets and migrating over to Polygon. And on top of that, we're seeing, as mentioned, so Dr. Disrespect is building a crypto game. He's building an NFT gaming studio, and he recently ran a poll and some, I would say, some surveys on the state of crypto games. Would players actually like to own their assets? And Polygon Studios and Dr. Disrespect were featured in a Forbes article for this. So they did a survey of over 400,000 gamers, and 97% of these gamers said they would love to have the ability to own their in-game items. And we preach this all the time on this show, guys, because ownership is not there in traditional games, but these studios are milking their profits from their players and their player bases and their biggest fans of the game to the tune of $52 billion a year. So that's the revenue right now for microtransactions, which is the equivalent of going on a games marketplace and buying an NFT gaming asset. So as we see here, we'll go down in the current state of Web 2 gaming has made it impossible to claim ownership, as we talk about here all the time. Midnight Society, Dr. Disrespect's new AAA gaming studio, wants to change the game, and they actually received over 400,000 signups within 7 days to be an applicant for the game. And they all received a survey where 97.5% of the applicants said that yes, they would love to own their in-game assets. And if you were to dive into this article, it's very interesting. And as you see here, Dr. Disrespect, it is not a pay to play. You don't have to own an NFT to play the game. It doesn't change your experience in the game once it's released. The game will continue to be free to play. You cannot buy your way to winning, so it's not pay to win. You can't just buy the best character, buy the best weapon, etc. It won't be pay to win, but for those who want to get more involved, you will have more access levels with these NFTs. And I love this model. And coming from Web 2 gaming, guys, Dr. Disrespect, and he is one of the biggest influencers in all of streaming and all of gaming. He has a massive following, over 2 million on Twitter. And if he is coming in with these mechanics and these economics with his game, others will follow. And I love the fact that he is taking the pay to win out of it. You don't have to own an NFT. The game will have an off-chain version that has none of the NFT stuff attached to it, though obviously it is a big part of the core identity and the central pitch of the game. And as you see, there's kind of some questions about, can you convert core gamers who have rejected NFTs in games to your vision of this concept? And as we see here, they say their goal isn't conversion. It's creating the ideal integration of the technology that doesn't choose a side for the player. And that is a brilliant way to term it, because crypto games in this state, when you're talking about these economies, tokenomics, NFTs, it's very blockchain heavy, and it really doesn't leave a lot of room for the traditional gamers to come in and just learn on the fly, because you have to open a wallet. You're like, what is a seed phrase? I'm not out here planting seeds in a garden. Like, what is a seed phrase? People are very confused. You have to get on the right chain, the RPCs, all that stuff. So the state of crypto games right now, it's not very friendly to onboard a traditional gamer. So if they make the front end just like they said, just a game, you don't have to participate in the NFT side. We believe that the game represents an inflection point in the games industry that can shift digital ownership towards players and our studio, as we will partner with our community to define the future of our game. So I would highly recommend to go take a look at this Forbes article when you do have some chance, because the way that they're going about this and the fact that it is Dr. Disrespect, such a heavy weight in the gaming industry, I loved everything about this. And as mentioned, guys, with the partnerships they're making, bringing over Sandbox, launching the game with Dr. Disrespect, along with all of these partners, they did also just partner with eBay for an NFT collection hosted on Polygons. So they are making a lot of moves and a lot of strides towards being the chain that Ryan Wyatt thinks they can be, right? You don't have to take our word for it. By the numbers, we have the largest share of transactions on Ethereum. So as you see here, they have the largest share of transactions on Ethereum. And you can kind of take a look at their suite of solutions for games, the Polygon POS, the Polygon Edge, and the Polygon ID. And I really just want to go back. What do I say a lot on this channel? Bet on people and not promises. And when you're getting involved in something and putting your chips for a successor, like a Polygon, for example, when you want to look for what's going to be successful as a gaming chain, I think that Polygon has lined themselves up very well to be that chain with the experience. So if you don't know, Activision, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty falls under Activision. Riot Games, you're looking at Valorant, one of the biggest games in the world. Electronic Arts has been putting out the biggest sports games in terms of Madden NFL every single year. And then obviously with the development from YouTube, Unity, these guys have also probably worked with the Unreal Engine, as they say, Google Play Store. So the different vast levels of experience from AAA gaming all the way down to mobile gaming gives me a lot of faith that Polygon can triumph as one of the leading gaming chains. And when you just take a look at where it is right now too, obviously with the bear market, this should definitely be on your watch list to accumulate when the time comes, because I do think Polygon is going to have a massive run back up once we finally do see this bearish trend over with, and we finally do get back to a little bit greener pastures. As we see, it's gone down from over 250. We're looking at a 287 high. And now we're down at 61 cents. With all this adoption coming in and the utilization of the chain, I definitely see this as a strong long-term bet. If you were to be putting your gaming watch list together, I think that Polygon certainly needs to be one of those top projects as an infrastructure. So, not only studios and all, these gaming distributors. So like not only Gala, Vulcan Forge, and Ultra are the infrastructures of this gaming industry. You want to take a look at these chains that are doing it right, like a Polygon. And I loved what Yacht said this morning. So Yatsu was on Rand's show this morning. And this is why I also think it's not just going to be Immutable X. It's not just going to be Avalanche subnets. It's not just going to be Polygon. Yatsu said, each of these chains is kind of like its own different region of the world. They have their own culture. They have their own community. They have their own sentiments within the community, the way that people interact. I can tell you that, Avalanche maxis, I've seen Polygon maxis. There's the Ethereum maxis. So I 100% agreed with that sentiment. And those cultures don't have to tear each other down. I think it's healthy for there to be multiple chains functioning for the same purpose. And I do see Polygon having a significant market share in the very, very near and distant future, especially on the backs of their acquisition of Ryan Wyatt. I just think that's absolutely huge as far as the gaming landscape, because he can get connected with anyone. He has inroads, obviously, with Dr. Disrespect, Nadeshot, and everyone he has ever associated with on the YouTube gaming side of things. YouTube Gaming also hosts the Call of Duty Professional League games right on their platform. So he has a lot of inroads with a lot of esports athletes as well. And I think that's very bullish for the future of Polygon gaming. But guys, I just wanted to throw all this on your radar because I think that this is getting overlooked. And in a market where we're all so focused on land sales, or people are trying to stack up their stable coins, and they're looking at these projects, these small caps, and they're like, I'm really looking for a big 50, 100x when these bounce back, right? I see tweets out there all the time that, gaming is going to give 100x returns whenever it does bounce. But Polygon's not going to give you that. But Polygon is certainly a safe bet to put on your watch list for the future, because I think the adoption speaks for itself, the moves they are making. This should certainly be on your radar as one of the top gaming chains. And over time, they have wanted to be this. They were built for gaming. And the adoption is finally coming in, the development, the team, and I absolutely love everything that Polygon is doing. If you enjoyed the video, guys, and if you are bullish on the future of Polygon gaming, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We are live here every single day right here on Crypto Banter. I will be back on Monday, and we have a huge week of shows next week, a couple interviews lined up, and some big gameplay shows, which I'm excited to bring to the table, or we'll actually be playing some games live right here on the stream, giving them in-depth live reviews. I'm really excited to kind of do that in this type of market. We can actually start gauging some of these games, seeing what's quality and what's not, and you'll start to see my mindset of what I look for in a gameplay loop, etc. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Play well, my friends.
Yeah.